Okay, in this tutorial I'm just going to show you how we can create an energy model using an Autocad drawing as our start point. So I'm going to create a new file here, so new from blank project. I'm going to call this YouTube AECOD base demo. Spell that correctly. So we give it a location, and currently we're not going to use a template on this one. The templates here are going to be the IP or the SI ones, so we're not going to use those. And click OK. And let's take a little bit of time to set that up. Okay, so that's been set up. And now you'll see that we have our project YouTube AECOD base demo. And it's still spinning around there, so it's not happy about something. And that's it. We should be back to where we were now. Okay, now it's a good idea to start setting up all of the defaults first of all. So if I right click on this and pull up the properties, the name, the project path, units are going to be metric. That's good. Now standard here, you can use CIBC or ASHRAE, so it's going to stick with ASHRAE for the moment. Room design temperatures are in here, so we're going to use airs, allow room temperature to rise, yes or no. I might as well just throw that on yes. And then here we have our settings for other aspects of the analysis itself. So time steps per hour, 6 per hour, which is every 10 minutes. So let's drop that to 4. Heating sizing, etc., etc. So you can read through on all these things. So there's again a bit of confirmation, a few little changes, and then click apply, click OK. Next thing, I'm going to have a look at the site itself. So I'm going to grab the properties of that. And okay, so the first one here is Europe, Ireland, location Shannon Airport. Now this is basically where we got some data, so we're near enough to Shannon, so that'll do. But the weather profile is currently looking at Philly. So we're going to have to deal with this in the weather manager later. Atmosphere climate, so we have choices there, urban, clear, undefined. I'll go for urban on that. Let's see, turbidity of the sky and things like that. You can set those here. In addition to that, we have some additional settings in terms of ground temperatures. So if we look at them here, we'll see 18s all over the place there. Let's see, topography coefficient, wind shielding, countryside. I'm going to go for urban on that. And let's see what else we have. Daylight savings, if you want to set those as well. So there. Just a couple of quick changes there. Site, we can call this demo site, just to give it a name. So again, click apply, click OK, and now we get to that point. Next thing is the building itself. So let's have a look at the properties of the building. Okay, the name is new building, so I'm going to call this an office building. It's not a high-rise. Building type, 2010 office is fine, but you can use the standard ASHRAE configurations there. And in here we can start popping in all of the address of the building itself, the engineer, client, and owner of the building. In addition to that, we have other aspects here, so the orientation of the building and all that can be established in there. So click OK on that. And now we need to actually do something with the floors. So the way we do this is we work from left to right here. So we have floors, rooms, surfaces. So what I'm going to do is create a new floor. I'm going to call this, add floor, so that we need to get a file name first of all. So we go off and we find our sheet. So there's my ground floor plan, which is a DGN file. It'll work equally well with an Autocad file. Probably should rename. Actually, we'll just use the DWG there instead. So we did say we're going to do this as an Autocad drawing. So there's our ground floor as a .dwg. So we're going to click open on that, and that'll load that. We can give it a name, so there's no point in sticking with that. It's going to call this the ground floor. And the level will be there, and that's fine. So if we put in another floor, we can put the floor height in here. So click OK on this. And with a bit of luck, it'll pull in the Autocad drawing. So I'll give that a moment to work. And there we go. So here's my floor plan in. Probably a bunch of elements here that I don't particularly want. So it's not going to let me delete them. Never mind. Anyway, this is the bit that I'm interested in, which is here. And what we're going to do is start creating rooms here. So as I said, we work from left to right. So we've done the floor part. Now what we can do is trace a room. So if we click on the trace button, it pulls up this dialog here, and it'll ask us, well, what type of room we want. So what I'm going to do is make this an enclosed office, and we can set the room name if we want. So I'm going to call this office 1. Floor height, room height, and the ceiling and underfloor plenum space is there. So you can set all of these. So if I just change this to 4 meters, okay, and you'll see it adjusted those as well. So room height, I'm going to set this to 2.4 for the sake of argument, and see how it adjusts the plenums there. And what it's doing is it's adjusting the plenums here to make sure everything adds up to that 4 meter there. So that's quite a big, let's see, maybe 0.4 underfloor. That gives me 1.2 meters as a ceiling plenum. So that'll be fine. We'll leave it at that. And now we go in and we trace the room. So we go into the drawing area here and click on these individual components, or sorry, the vertices. And again, when you get to this point, just right click and that'll finish it. So what's going to happen now is it's going to build in the office space here. And you can see it in this view over here now as well. So if I just maximize that, you can see there, this is the room built up. Ceiling plenum is not as, you can see it there. Actually, you can see how it's separated those spaces. Okay, so I'll go back to my previous view. So it's here. And in relation to this, a couple of things I want to note here. If we look at the, just close the plenum space and have a look here. Under surfaces, it has everything down as exposed walls because it doesn't recognize anything else around it. So what I'm going to do is create another room here. I'm going to kind of call this one Office 2. And accept all the other defaults there, that's fine. And now I'm going to create another room in this location. Now, when I finish this, what you'll notice over here is we're going to get some internal walls appearing. So right-clicking there, and we should see another office pop in there. And if I have another look at the surfaces, we'll see now that we have a partition wall which has emerged, and that one exists here between these two. And you'll see the other one will have a partition wall here. And we can go ahead and create another one again. Probably shouldn't have picked that point, but anyway. Let's go here and finish that. And what we'll see now, didn't give it a name, never mind. We have partitions on this one as well. But if we go back to Office, this one here, that's 1.3, which is the one we just created. And we should have here now is 3 exposed wall. Okay, that one's quite thick, so it hasn't picked that up as a partition. Let's do the corridor space. So let's do that. It's down to here. Okay, so when I'm up here, I'm going to see if I can find lobby. Probably not the best one. I think there should be a transition / corridor transition. There we go. So if I right click on this now, it'll create that corridor space for me. There we go. So I didn't give it a name, so it's currently 1.4. But if we go back to the surfaces again, we should see more partition walls popping in. So for Office 2 here, we have a partition wall in this area, another partition wall in this area. This one here didn't get picked up because the wall is just a little bit too thick. And you remember that was set as 350 mil from previous tutorials. So let's create another space in here. So lecture/classroom, call this LE lecture 1, and I'll just create another space here. There we go. Okay. And that's basically it. You just continue on with that process until you have mapped out all the geometry of the building. And you'll see why, or as we're going through it, this is the building being built up. And once you're done with this, you're good to start your analyses. All right, thank you very much.